Hello there, I'm Terry, and that's Nick, and we are ready to break down week 11 of the CFL. Hoping that Miss TK will be joining us as well shortly, soon as well. But we will start the show as we usually do, and that is taking a look at power rankings here. So I will go first. I will take a look at my power rankings from last week. Of course, the record is updated, but the overall rankings are the same as last week. And not a whole lot is changing for me from what we saw last week. Edmonton 0 and 9. They're still the last place team. Calgary 3 and 6. Calgary, I expected to come down to earth last week. That game went pretty much exactly as I expected. So Ottawa still 3 and 6. I still have them in the same spot. Hamilton off the bye. Tonight's game for Hamilton will determine a lot for my power rankings going into next week, how they perform tonight. Saskatchewan stays the same. Montreal um, comfortably in fourth now for me, the Montreal Alouettes. But I'm going to make a change. I am going to put BC at number two. And it's very close for me in this one. I think these two teams are really close. Yes, we did just see Winnipeg um, beat up the BC Lions. But I think that was more of a really good spot for Winnipeg, really bad spot for BC, revenge factor. It just wasn't an overall good spot for BC. I think if these teams were to meet tomorrow in a playoff game, I think BC wins. So I have BC at number two, Toronto at number one, still, but definitely don't want to see Chad Kelly get hurt because Toronto Toronto is so much better with Chad Kelly in the lineup. So that's a big thing for them. Ice X is here, and he says Edmonton Elks money line. So he's been listening to Nick, but we will go to you, Nick, next. What do you think for your power rankings? I will switch over to yours. Last week, this is what Nick had for his power rankings. Any changes you want to make this week?
I actually posted out the thing on Sunday night of my power rankings too. And I think the only change I have here is that I switch around Saskatchewan and Hamilton for 7 and 8. Other than that, everything remained kind of the same for me. Um, I would like to see the Elks get out of that 9 spot. I don't know if they will. Hamilton, I mean, this could be the opportunity that the Elks need to get a win because I have them as the second worst team. I just don't trust Powell, and we saw that the offense not really work with him. We'll see what happens this week. Now they've had a bye. I put out my rankings on Twitter, and a couple people questioned the Argos with their defense. Until further notice, until they lose a game where they have Kelly from start to finish, they're my number one team. They're the team to beat in the CFL. I feel like the only reason they lost that game is because Kelly got hurt. So until further notice, the Argos are the best team in the CFL. Bombers and Lions, that'll be a fun Western Conference Finals. I think it's a toss-up. I'll give the edge to the Bombers. They showed me no reason to take them off. And the Lions did what I expected them to do and bounce back. And also, as you mentioned, Montreal has, I think, become the easy number 4 here. The only teams, because Montreal, the only teams they've lost to are the 3 teams above them. The teams they've beat are the 5 teams below them. So this is a team that I think fits right in that 4 spot. Calgary, I expected them to take a step down last week, just situationally, because BC came in off that ugly loss. I don't really want to fault Calgary too much on that. And then the Red Blacks, I think, are coming back down to earth now. And I think we're going to see them start to go down a little bit more. People have, I think, figured out Dustin Crum a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for my rankings. The only switch I had was 7 and 8.
All right. We will move on to the games now. And we'll start here with the first game, which is happening tonight here, Edmonton and uh, Hamilton. Bring this up here. Currently, you can find Edmonton anywhere from plus 175 to plus 182 as an underdog. Hamilton minus 205 to minus 227 home favorites. The spread minus 4.5, minus 5, minus 5.5. The total 44.5 and 45 in this game. And this is a tough one for me. So I have picks in the other three games. And I guess I should have addressed this earlier at the end of the or at the beginning of the show. But there was a comment on last week's show that said, I'll actually bring it up. Let me get it here. I wanted to address the comment last week. Let me get it here. Insight don't win games. That's what someone commented last week. But I went 2-0 last week on the show. So I don't really know what a person expects. Insight doesn't win games, but it helps. It helps people. So just wanted to address that comment quickly. But going into this game, I don't have a lot to say about this game. Hamilton, they last played 12 days ago, losing to Montreal in a game they were winning. So they've had 12 days off with a really sour taste in their mouth. Uh, and they've had so much time to prepare for this game. Edmonton had that big lead against Winnipeg and was kind of shocking the world, but then came right back down to earth. Winnipeg came storming back and got the victory in that one. Here, I'm not laying minus 4.5 or minus 5.5 with Hamilton. I think Hamilton wins this game. I think minus 200 favorites. I think it's a bit much, but I do think they win this game. Edmonton probably does cover the spread at plus 5.5, but for me, this team has been poverty all season long. They've just been an absolute dumpster fire, and I just can't put my money, and I just can't recommend other people to put their money on this Edmonton team. But if they come out here and they smash Hamilton and they win by 10 plus points, then they'll open my eyes, but I have to see it first. But that's my opinion. Nick, Edmonton Elks, Hamilton Tiger Cats. Do you need to see more from Edmonton, or are you ready to bet on them again?
I mean, I've been betting on them all year. So that is what it is. I will address Insight does not win games. Then it definitely did not help me go 10-1 last week in the CFL. So who knows? But and one of the easiest game I think for me, it was a couple easy ones last week. But I think one of the easiest games for me last week was +7 in the first half with Edmonton when they went up 22-0 at one point. I was all over Edmonton last week. Trey Ford has sparked that offense. They put up 29 points. Granted, 7 of those are from a pick six. But that offense looked a lot better last week. They had the new offensive coordinator as well, which that offense looked like a different offense last week. I think that continues into this one here. I'm not high on the Hamilton Tiger Cats here. The Edmonton Elks win their first game this week. It's about freaking time they win a game. They have actually covered, I believe, the last couple of games on the road as well, if I'm not mistaken. The Edmonton Elks, they're a better road team than they are home team. So I'm investing in the Elks tonight. First half, you can get them at +3. And full game at +5.5. I have a small bet on the money line, +190. And one of the plays I really like, I cashed it early in the second quarter last week on that pick six. The team total over for the Elks is less than 20. It's 19.5. Last week it was 16.5, and it cashed within the first couple minutes of the second quarter. I'm on the Elks team total over as well. I think that that Trey Ford adds a extra threat to that offense that Cornelius just did not. And we've been begging for Trey Ford all season long, and he kind of proved it last week. He looked good. He ran, I believe, 5 times for 50 yards. He went 12 for 16 with almost 200 passing yards and a touchdown. For the Edmonton Elks that have done nothing on offense all year long, that was a sight for sore eyes to see the Edmonton Elks finally move the football. So I do like the Elks this week. First half full game, team total over.
All right. I do think Edmonton has a quarterback advantage in this one.
Yes.
I do. I really do think that. For me, though, it's just 12 days off for Hamilton. That's just what keeps me off this game. But You don't have to bet every game. I do have 3 other picks that I will definitely be giving out. So we'll get to that in the next 3 games. Good afternoon, guys. Sorry, but I like Edmonton Elks first half and the over.
I like it
Don't
too.
be sorry. Nick is on those with you. I'm not against you. I'm just staying off this game. I want to watch this game because
Join the
watching this
Dark
game will tell
Side.
me a lot about these two teams. So I want to see this game. But we'll go on to the game coming on tomorrow here, which is Winnipeg and Calgary. Bring up the odds here. Currently, you can get Winnipeg minus 230 to minus 249. Road favorites Calgary anywhere from plus 180 to plus 212. The spread Winnipeg minus 4.5. Totals 46.5, 47, and 47.5 in this game. This here, and I don't understand. I understand the line movement. It's moved around 2 points here. Um, with the news that Zach Collaros will not be starting in this game, but I never expected him to start in this game. I was prepared to have Drew Brown in this game, and yes, he didn't get off to the best start in last week's game, but in the second half, he definitely did. Winnipeg erased that 22-0 deficit to win 38-29. Calgary felt good about themselves last week, and it was definitely not a good spot for them. 1-3 at home this year, 4-7 in their last 11 home games. Calgary just doesn't play that well at home. Winnipeg 3-1 on the road. Winnipeg's won four of the last. They won their last 4 meetings between the teams. 3 of the 4 by 7 or more points. I think Drew Brown plays just fine in this game. I like Winnipeg. I have the -6, and I might be doubling up and taking them. Right now, it's -4, -4.5. But the way the lines have been moving, I wouldn't be surprised if we see -3.5 by game time. So I'll be all over Winnipeg in this one. Let's take a look at Winnipeg team total as well. I cashed on that last week, 25.5, -122. That's I'll probably be looking at that. Not an official play, but Winnipeg -6 is an official play. So right now you can get it Winnipeg -4. Nick, Blue Bombers, Stampeders. What do you think in this game?
Yeah, Stampeders have not been covering numbers at home this year, but you mentioned they're 1-3 at home this year. And actually, the only time they've covered a spread at home this year is when they were a home underdog. All the other 3 times they were a home favorite. So I think it's a different dynamic here when Calgary is a home dog compared to a home favorite. If they're a home favorite, not particularly wanting to lay the points with them is totally fine. As a dog, I think there's a little bit of value here with Calgary. Now, I got in earlier in the week when this number was still a 3.5 for the first half here. I like Calgary early in this game because we saw this last week where Drew Brown got off to a slow start, and the Blue Bombers got off to a slow start and then turned it on in the second half. I can very well see a potential for a good live betting spot on the Blue Bombers at halftime in this game because I like the Calgary Stampeders early. I kind of like the over as well. I got the over at 47.5 in this game. I think we see points back and forth. We saw Drew Brown be able to move the ball last week. Granted, it was against the Edmonton Elks defense, and I think we will be able to see Calgary move the ball a little bit here as well with Jake Meyer and that offense. I believe Jake Meyer, the only quarterback that's yet to get hurt this year. Which is crazy, and this team's still 3-5. But I think that we see a back and forth type of game. I like Calgary first half. I don't know if I'd play it at the 2.5. I liked it at over a field goal there because I can see this being a 3-point game at halftime. I also got the team total over. It was 19.5 when I got it. Now it's up to a 20.5. I like the full game over as well. I think we see a back and forth type of offensive matchup here with Winnipeg and Calgary. And I think this is a spot where we can see Calgary up early and then Winnipeg come back late.
All right. Yeah, I don't really go with the first halves. For some reason, it's better for me just to bet full games. But everybody's good at different things. So um, EQ says, can't believe Ezekiel Elliott is now in a Patriots uniform.
Who cares?
Um, yeah, hey, we'll see how he does. Daryl says he was leaning towards the under, but after much research and analysis, he leans the over because of Alex Mobile quarterback and the rest factor of the Tiger Cats. Should be no reason to bet under. Yeah, if I was gonna bet anything in this game, in that game, it would be the over. That's the closest play I get to, just because I can't give out Hamilton money line, and I'm not sure with the spread there. But we'll move on to our third game here, which is the Montreal Alouettes and the Ottawa Red Blacks here. Currently, Montreal minus 133 to minus 150 road favorites. Ottawa plus 115 to plus 125 home dogs. The spread minus 2.5. I see minus 3 as well. The total 47.5 in most places, 147 at DraftKings in this game. And I was very high on this Ottawa team. I really believed in them when Dustin Crum came in, the Crumbacks. I really, really believed in this team. But over the last couple weeks, they've kind of come back down to earth here. Montreal, like Nick said, and it's true. They beat the teams that are not the top three teams on our power rankings. So there's a clear top three teams in the league that are all on an island by themselves. Then Montreal, well, actually, they're on an island. Then Montreal is kind of on an island and they're set on their own. Then there's all the other bottom teams in the league. So getting Montreal at a good price here. Yes, quarterback. Each week there's quarterback injuries, so you have to. You can't put all your focus into quarterbacks in the CFL because every single week there's quarterback injuries. So, looking at this game without the quarterbacks, just looking at the team factor, I like Montreal minus 2.5 in this one. I think they get the job done. Nick, Alouettes, Red Blacks. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I think the honeymoon period for Dustin Crum is over. I think we're starting to see the Red Blacks team that we were expecting in the beginning of the season, where I thought they were just a complete fade. In the beginning of the season, they got a nice little spark from Mr. Crum, but I think that's kind of that ship has sailed. Montreal, I'm expecting Cody Fajardo to play in this game. I'm hearing reports that he was questionable. I'm expecting him to play in this one here. I got the Alouettes in this spot. I got him first half minus a half. I got him full game. I think I got it at 145 or 150 or whatever for the full game money line on this spot because we've seen close games. We see Ottawa be able to keep close in this one. Ottawa's a team where if Montreal is up like double digits at halftime and you can get a plus 11.5, 12.5 with Ottawa, I think that's a pretty good middling opportunity there because I could see the Alouettes winning this game by a touchdown or so. But I kept it pretty simple for this one. Montreal is beating the teams they're supposed to, and they're losing to the teams they're supposed to. Their three losses this year were against the top three teams. They lost by 8 to Toronto, they lost by 16 to BC, and they lost by 14 to Winnipeg. In their other games, they won week one against Ottawa 19-12. They beat Hamilton 38-12. They beat Calgary 25-18. They beat Hamilton 27-14, and they beat Saskatchewan 41-12. So this is a team that beats the teams they're supposed to, and they lose to the teams they're supposed to. So for me, this was pretty simple. I like Montreal on this spot. Montreal is a team I'll continue to back against the weak teams and fade against the good ones.
All right. Yeah, looking at the injury report, Fajardo has been limited both games, both practice days. But that's for me. I don't really care if he does start or if he doesn't. I'm fine if they rest him. Caleb Evans looked really good last week. So the quarterbacks, I don't know who to expect to play. But like I said, with injuries, it doesn't really. One thing I didn't mention: Montreal's won 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams, including week 1 of this year. So I really do like Montreal. And yes, me and Nick agree, Isaacs, which is rare.
And
which
we're
is
going to
fair.
next team, I believe, too.
Zeke, the African decliner, Elliott won't help the Pats. Um, I don't know if he won't help them, but he may not be the savior that a lot of Pats
No.
fans think he's going to
The
be.
Patriots are going to be mediocre. They're probably going to finish last in that division. They may win 8 games. And I saw that once they got him, I think their odds for the Super Bowl went from 65-1 to 65-1, so they really don't care.
Yeah.
Running backs are overrated anyway.
Blue Bombers backup QB is a gamer and revitalize that Blue Bombers offense to crank up the points. Yeah, that's why I'm totally fine with backing him. Let the line continue to move -3.5, maybe -3. It doesn't matter to me. I like -6 with him with the backup play. Ottawa money line -150 is pricey. Ice X, it's
No, they're
pricey.
plus money. Ottawa's plus money.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Montreal's the favorite.
Yeah, hey, if you want to take the dog, but I've backed this Ottawa team and not done too well. Anyone got Hamilton? I think Hamilton wins, but I want to take the spread. Nick's on Edmonton. I'd rather back the Senators over the Canadians. Yes, hockey not too far away.
I don't know about that. That might be a spicy take for hockey season, but I think the Canadians flirt with a wild card spot.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
boy. Oh boy. Okay,
Just
well we'll
flirt.
get
Just flirt. I didn't say they make the playoffs. Just flirt.
okay. NHL shows will be coming on the Getting Wild with Terry and Friends YouTube channel. So make sure to check those out. All 32 NHL teams. We'll start that in September.
Ooh, nice.
Alouettes will roll. It's not Crumb's fault. He just needs NFL type wide receivers like the Seahawks to stretch the field.
Yeah.
Nick and Terry agree. BC Lions will roll too. This is the time of the season where the contender from the pretender separate. Totally
Yes.
agree. We'll get to that game here shortly. Patriots are run heavy now, so Elliott will be useful. We'll see. We'll see. Bills overrated since Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Maybe the Pats. Whoa, Nick with the spoiler. And I mentioned Seahawks will shock all of you this NFL season. Just wait and see.
I think mentioning the Seahawks there, I think there's value on Seattle to win that division just because if you look at the schedule San Fran has this year, it is one of the most brutal schedules I've seen in a very long time, travel wise and matchup wise. They have a tough schedule this year.
Check out on the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel the NFL preview shows. I did go over the San Francisco 49ers. I like them to win the division. So.
Niners will still be good. It's just I don't know how they'll make the playoffs, but I'm just
They have a tough schedule, but they're a
they have the
really
team
good
to do
top
it.
team in this top team in this league. So
Quarterback issues though are a big question mark. But other than that, they have a great team.
I don't think they've got quarterback issues. Purdy's good. BC Lions, Saskatchewan Roughriders in our final game of the week. Let me bring it up here. And the odds here: BC -400 road favorites, Saskatchewan +310 to +360 home dogs. 9.5 most spots here for BC. A couple spots with -10, 44.5 and 45s when it comes to the total in this one. And I'm backing another road favorite. Give me the BC Lions -9.5. I would take it now and not wait until it goes to -10, -10.5.
It's already hit 10
I really,
spots.
yeah. Well, there's a couple spots at 10 are here on the books I have, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to wait, you want to get this game early. For the Winnipeg game, that's one you might want to wait because the line is moving the other way. But here, I would take BC now. I think this team right up here, BC bounced back huge last week, which was my premium play up on the site. One of the plays I gave out last week. Saskatchewan lost Mason Fine last week, and when they lost Trevor Harris, that was a big step down from Trevor Harris to Mason Fine. Now they've lost Mason Fine, and it's probably going to be Jake Dolegala. We saw what he did last week when the Rough Riders lost 41-12. I have absolutely no faith in him. BC has won 3 of the last 4 meetings between the teams. The last 2 games they've had to Saskatchewan, they've won by 15 and by 18 points. They've taken care of business. Saskatchewan has won 2 of their last 10 home games. Um, BC, BC. I love them here in this spot. 9.5, a tall number, but I think there's no issue with them covering it here. Looking at the team total for BC is 27.5. I think they hit that. Um, I think they flirt with 30 points. And I think Saskatchewan gets a couple field goals. I think BC can probably hold them to under 10 points in this one. So looking at Saskatchewan team total is 17.5,
Mm-hmm.
but it's minus 136, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
out of my price range. I'll look around and see if I can get 16.5 at plus money, and I'll be all over that. All over that. Nick, Lions, Rough Riders. What do you think of this one?
I did take that under 17.5. I got minus 135 for it. Dola Gala is not a quarterback that I think will be able to move the ball. We saw what happened last week. Granted, he gets a full week of practice now with the Saskatchewan offense if Mason Fine is not ready to go. But if you thought the Saskatchewan offense was bad with Mason Fine, it's going to be even worse with Dola Gala. And this is one of the teams I feel like I've read pretty right is the Saskatchewan Roughriders here. Because I saw how they opened up their season, and I said this is fool's goal when they were 3-2 because they beat Edmonton twice, and they had to go to overtime and hang on against the Calgary Stampeders. Since then, they did not. Since then, they lost to Calgary. They lost to this BC Lions team. They got blown out against Toronto. They barely beat Ottawa. Very lucky to beat Ottawa. And they got blown out against Montreal. I think we see more of the same here. I think Saskatchewan doesn't come close to the playoffs this year. I got the BC Lions first half at minus 6.5, the full game at minus 10. I think they win this game by 20. And I think this is something along the lines of 27-6. Like I don't see them cracking double digits here. Saskatchewan Roughriders. I think Dola Gala is going to have a lot of trouble against that BC Lions defense, and it's going to be an ugly game to end the week here. I think this is the biggest blowout of the week. Obviously, minus 10, so that's kind of not really saying too much, but I think this is a complete rout. Very similar to last week against Calgary.
6 of the 9 teams make the playoffs. So I'm not sure if I go with Saskatchewan being out. I'm not ready to make that statement. But they're in a very bad spot. But maybe their fourth stringer will be good because that's how things seem to be going in the CFL. Soon we'll get to fifth stringers as well.
Well, Saskatchewan's offensive line left Trevor Harris to die in that for that offense. So I'm not surprised their quarterbacks keep getting hurt because their offensive line is arguably the worst in the CFL.
The Earl brothers agree with me about Seattle. Yeah.
I'm not saying value on it. Doesn't mean I think I think they win the division. I just see value on the number.
Yeah. Dave Talk says hi. Daryl thinks Seahawks will be lucky to make the playoffs.
It could be.
BC Lions minus 9.5. That's what I'm on. You cannot trust the Elks. I am. Nick likes the Elks. Dave, I'm with you, David. I'm not ready to trust this Elks team. But if they come out here this week and blow the doors out of Hamilton, if they squeak by with a 2 or 3 point win, then I haven't seen quite enough. But if they can come out here and get a convincing win against a really rested Hamilton team, then maybe I'll believe in this Elks team a little bit more. But I'm not there yet. You bugging my dude? I hope you were joking, right?
No,
BC Lions is the pick.
Yes.
Could be raining in Hamilton tonight. Live close to Hamilton, and it's raining now. I also live close to Hamilton, and it's kind of sunny out right now, but it was raining.
What's the weather? Boots on the ground. What's the weather?
It's kind of sunny where I am, but I'm up on the mountain, so hey. Just got to look at the Seahawks depth chart, especially at wide receiver, and yeah. Hey, good luck to the Seahawks. Good luck to them. Great. But that's the show. I guess Mr. TK was unable to join us this week. He should be back next week. But that's about it. Anything else, Nick, you want to say about the CFL?
No. Let's have the Elks win their first game tonight.
I guess, okay. If you want any Nick's premium plays, you can get them up on Picks and Parlays. Also, you have Cap It, right, as well?
Yes, I've capped
And
it.
if you want to find that, you can find it on Nick's Twitter page, which is a link in the description below. For me, don't buy my CFL play package on the site because I've given you out all 3 plays on the show. But if you want to get my NFL preseason play, I have one up. My first NFL play of the season. I was third on picks and parlays last year in the NFL. I was looking to get going with that, get that play up on the site and MLB as well. But don't buy my CFL because you've already got all 3 plays. BC Lions money line minus 550.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Best of luck. Well, not best of luck that it's going to win, but you're going to have to lay 5.5 units, and I can never say to do that. Love your show. Thanks, David. Much appreciated. More people should come. Yeah, CFL is
CFL is
not
a
really.
niche market. It's a niche market for sure.
Yeah, it's growing though.
It is.
Attendance and especially attendance this year in the CFL is actually growing, so that's good news. But with sports gambling expanding in the states, next state, it'll be legal 2024, right? Coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So with more states becoming legal, more people will pay attention to CFL, and you'll make some more money. So,
Yep.
or there'll be more people watching. But thanks, gentlemen. No problem. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash like button. Appreciate all the support, and we'll see you on other CFL shows. NFL shows are coming as well, so get ready for that. But best of luck, guys, and we'll see you again. Have a good one.